Hey y'all, I'm James Wright, and welcome to my shop. Actually, this is my office, and unfortunately, that is not my office. We are here with Jamie Harpster today because he is head of Plain Wellness, and we have a lot of fun things to talk about. So say hi, Jamie.
Hello.
You're supposed to say hi, Jamie.
Oh, hi, Jamie.
So let's actually start this off. Actually, why don't you tell us about yourself and Plain Wellness, and give us a little rundown about what you do.
Absolutely. So he already said I'm Jamie. Plain Wellness is a 501c3 nonprofit. So our mission is to improve mental wellness through woodworking. And we do that by offering woodworking courses, which are free to individuals with a mental health diagnosis or physical disability, including veterans with a disability rating. Did that cover it? I think you asked two questions.
Yeah. No, and well, what do you tell us a little bit about the classes and how you actually help people with that?
Yeah. So hobbies have been shown to improve mental wellness, and the whole goal is to make woodworking more accessible to individuals. So we do that by making it more accessible to the individuals that need it most, those with diagnoses and disabilities. So right now, most of our courses are virtual, but we do have some in-person locations. So anybody with a diagnosis, disability, all they do is they apply for the course, they send me proof of their diagnosis, and then we just accept them and they can join. The other part of the mission is community. So when people get to take woodworking courses, they get to interact with fellow woodworkers, which also helps improve mental wellness.
I'm out of focus. There, I just fixed it. I'm having fun with my new cheapy webcam. Sorry about that, everyone. Yeah, so I do have to say, anyone has any questions, throw them in the chat, and we'll be getting to those. But we're going to be touching up on a few things. But it actually leads us into one of the questions that came up a little earlier from Cottrill Tool Woodworks. Asked, so what planted the seed for Plain Wellness?
Ooh, that goes back a little ways. The main seed started was more of a personal experience for myself. So I'm diagnosed with ADHD. When I got into woodworking, I learned how peaceful it was for myself and how much it helped me slow down and slowing my brain down. Anybody with ADHD knows that your brain goes a million miles a minute all day. But when I'm in the shop just planing a board or chiseling out a mortise, all of that kind of quieted down and gave me a break. I've also worked in the mental health field since 2016. It's either 2014 or 2016. So I really started to see the benefits of woodworking on mental health. And then I started a YouTube channel and got to interact more and more with the woodworking community. I learned that a lot of individuals in woodworking have diagnoses. And I said, there's got to be a way that I can combine my two passions, which was woodworking and mental health. And one day it just popped in my brain and said, free woodworking courses and let's go for it. And that's exactly what I did. That was a good question.
That actually is, yeah, for me, anytime I'm having a tough time or I find my brain going down weird mental paths, it's just nice to go in the shop and zone out and just make. And it's amazing what that can do just to rewire the brain.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, when I'm feeling stressed, sometimes it's as simple as just planing a board. I don't have any
Yeah.
intention to use the board on a project. I just grab a piece that's out of flat or whatever, and I just grab a plane I know is sharp. You got to have a sharp plane, and I just plane away and make shavings, and it's amazing how healing that is, and how much it just turns your whole day around. So I want to share that with the world.
Something amazing about plane curls. They're soothing.
Absolutely.
I've turned more than a few boards into curls.
Yep. Yep.
So you for the you accept people with mental illness, but the question is, why then do you also accept paid members? Wouldn't it be just open to people who need it?
So it's a mix of both. So we accept paid students because even if you don't have a diagnosis, you can still improve your mental wellness. The other reason is because those paid students really make it possible for the mission to continue. So teachers are paid for teaching our courses, and they're paid based on how many proceeds we get from an individual course. The paid students also make it possible for us to send materials out to our mission students. And even as a nonprofit, you got to have a good business plan that is sustainable. And the best way to do that is to make sure that the courses remain self-sufficient so we can continue growing and operating for years on end. I will say, though, that I keep a very close eye on that. So if I'm starting to see that we're getting more paid students than mission students, and mission students aren't getting a chance to take a course, I will limit paid students, but I'll never limit mission students.
Cool. So, I mean, how do you actually, do you actually track or what what you're doing to help people, or what things are actually changing for people?
Yeah, we do. So after every single course, we send out an after course survey. And what I'm specifically looking for is, do you use woodworking as a coping skill? Does it improve your mental wellness? And then did our course help improve your mental wellness? And then did it also help you connect with other woodworkers? And those are the main points that I want to try to hit. I ask about coping skills because if somebody doesn't typically use woodworking for a coping skill, it might not improve their mental wellness because that's not their go-to for it. But what we've been finding is even if it's not a coping skill for them, they are stating that the courses are helping improve their mental wellness. I think so far out of all the courses we've had, we've only had a few, maybe 5 or 6, that rated it as a 3, meaning there's been no change to their mental wellness after the course. So it is working.
Cool. I love how it was the feedback I get whenever I teach a class is always it's great. As I often tell people that I learn just as much as they do, because I may not be learning the actual woodworking, but I'm also learning, how do I communicate with people, and how do I share the experience and the tool work, and it's I absolutely love it.
Absolutely.
So how many teachers do you have right now?
12? No, it's 13 now. And I'm going to be adding another one soon, hopefully.
Cool. And where are the physical locations?
Yeah, so we have Rockford, Illinois, with the one and only, yes. And then we have Timberville, Virginia, with Shay Alexander. I don't know, you guys can't see it in the video. And then we have Wayne Fry in McFall, Missouri. We are going to be adding Albert Klein in Laurel, Maryland. And then soon, I'm hoping we're going to be adding Gerald Vance in Hurricane, West Virginia.
Oh, cool.
Oh, and sorry, we just added Nova Labs in Fairfax, Virginia. So my goal is to have a place everywhere. I want this to be a nationwide thing, have satellite locations everywhere.
Very cool. I was going to ask about Hand Tool Haven, which is coming up, but let me actually change that over, because Cottrill Tool Woodworks, Tool and Woodworks, again, I asked, what's the end goal for Plain Wellness? What do you want it to be in the end?
Absolutely. So I'm a huge dreamer, and the board likes to put me in check. I would like to see Plain Wellness worldwide. We've already had students from Australia. We've had students from the UK, from Canada, from a lot of places. So I would like to see Plain Wellness satellite locations everywhere. But the main goal for within the United States is for Plain Wellness to have its own woodworking retreat facility. And the idea is students would come out to us, stay on site in mini cabins. We'd be able to woodwork during the day. We'd have meals together, have campfires at night. I'm hoping to find a place that has some acreage, so maybe we can take hikes. If there's a little lake, go fishing. We also want to have an event center so we can host our own meetings there, tool swaps, have guest speakers. And then we also want to have a museum so we can teach the public on woodworking tools and then just geek out over checking out vintage tools as well.
That's cool. That's like, I got goosebumps.
But trust me, when we have it, I'm going to be calling you out to come teach, because I want to have a mini cabin for the teachers as well. So that way you can also enjoy the experience.
Cool. Now we had, I did a class with a bunch of disabled veterans a couple months ago, and we had 13 of us in my shop, which when we do the classes, I limit it to like 6 because it's pretty tight. I mean, 6 works well, but we had 8 students, myself, another teacher who was kind of a student, and then 2 others who were in there. It's just, it was a lot, but I would love to have that experience in a full facility that's designed for it. That'd be amazing.
I might convince you to move out here one of these days, just so you know. I'm looking at either Pennsylvania or West Virginia, so if you want to throw your vote in, I might be figuring out how to get you to come out here.
That's one of the reasons I live in the Midwest, is I can get anywhere I want to.
That is true. That is true.
There's a flight out of O'Hare to anywhere.
That's true.
So, Hand Tool Haven, tell us, what is it?
It's huge. Where to start? So, the idea was to have a fundraiser. If anybody knows nonprofits or have worked in the nonprofit field at all, we have something that are called galas, which is this very formal, you dress up and you wear your suit and tie, and it's where the nonprofit gets huge donations. I didn't want to do a gala. I am not a suit and tie type person. I am not a formal type. If anybody knows me, they know.
You want a flannel gala.
Exactly. Flannel gala, pocket tee, But what we wanted to do is we really wanted to mimic something like Handworks or like the other tool shows that we see. So we reached out to a lot of the different makers that we know and invited them out to be vendors. So we're going to have vendors there. A lot of them are going to be tool makers. So like Honeybrook Tools is going to be there. Eric Mayer Maker is going to be there. We're also going to have big name companies there like Lee Valley, Zenwu. We're going to have vintage tool dealers as well. But then the big thing for us is going to be the raffles, the silent auctions, the 50-50. All of those are going to be raising money to help advance our mission. I will say the event got way bigger than I expected it to. And
for one day, you're cramming it all in.
For one day. And the venue and the vendors pretty much filled up before I even publicly announced that it was happening. And we'll give you a little note that for 2026, we are correcting that. We're going to make it a 2-day event, and we're going to have a much bigger venue. So it'll be awesome. But this year's going to be cool, too, because I'm stoked.
Yeah, and I'll be there. Is Rex going to make it out for that?
Yes.
He is? Cool. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
You're going to have our main media pass because you're one of our teachers, but Rex is also going to have a media pass.
Cool. Yeah, I've got my hotel and I'm excited.
It's gonna be so much fun. I'm preparing my speech. I'm practicing it over and over because I realized if I'm gonna host an event like this, I should probably talk about plain wellness, right? So I've been practicing the speech over and over and over again, but I'm so nervous about that.
So when, where, and how do people find out more or sign up?
Yeah, so to sign up, you go to www.plainwellness.org/HTH 2025, or if you just go onto our website, you'll see a banner that looks like my shirt. Just click on that. Tickets for pre-sale are $10. If you want to wait and pay at the door, it's $15. It's going to be on July 19th this year in Freeport, Pennsylvania, which is about 30 minutes north of Pittsburgh.
Cool. Yeah, I'm actually going to be, in Erie in June, and then going right back. It's like an hour south of, hour and a half, something like that, south of Erie.
I'll be there with you in Erie too.
My wife's like, why do you keep going back to Pennsylvania? Well, things are happening in Pennsylvania.
It's a happening place.
Let's see. We've got a question from Andrew. Have you considered working with Rob Crosman and the Purple Heart?
Yes. I reached out a couple times and I got a reply once that was a no, and then no replies the rest of the time. But we might be too small right now because we're only in our second year of operations. So eventually, I'm not closing the doors on anything. There's still a possibility for the future.
Okay. I might have to get you in touch because I got his phone number.
There we go.
Yeah, oddly enough, he actually, I don't know if he still does it, but he used to call every single person who put an order in from his shop.
I thought about honestly doing that. I thought about just buying something, waiting for him to call and be like, hey, by the way, have you heard about us yet? But I didn't want to, like, what do they call that? Blindside him like that. So
now I tried doing that for a while with my own store, and that's a lot of work. That's a serious commitment.
Absolutely.
So tell me about, I absolutely love where this is going, and I'm loving what anytime I get to teach a class, but not everyone can teach a class. What are ways that people can get involved and volunteer and help?
Yeah. So we're obviously going to need help with the Hand Tool Haven event. I'm still looking for help with setup and tear down before and after the event. I think there's information on the website about that. If not, just go onto the website, scroll down to the bottom, you'll see my email. We're also looking for course moderators. Because we have so many teachers and because we're offering so many courses, I can't be in all of them. And we'd like to have a moderator there to help the teachers change cameras, keep an eye on the chat, do the introductions, the outro. So I'm constantly looking for course moderators if anybody's interested. The bonus to that is when you moderate a course, you also get to participate. So if we're sending out material packs to the students, you get one so you can participate and help us out at the same time. We also are looking for Plain Wellness ambassadors. So if there's anybody that goes out to woodworking shows and would be willing to put Plain Wellness print materials on your table, that would be a huge help also because I also can't get out to all of the woodworking shows. We are also looking for some specific volunteer opportunities. So I'm looking for somebody to help with our nonprofit taxes, with all the different forms that are involved in that. We're also looking for a grant writer. That is a huge one. Right now, we have not even attempted to get any grants because I don't even know where to look for grants or anything. So if anybody has experience with grant writing, please call me. I think there's going to be various volunteer opportunities throughout. Um, so keep an eye on our Facebook and Instagram page for that. The other way that you can help out would be for monetary donations. We're constantly looking for more patrons. So we have a Patreon page. You get a discount on courses if you don't have a diagnosis. We also do monthly giveaways, just kind of as an incentive. But the Patreon is really the main way that you can help us out because it gives us a consistent monthly income that we can rely and depend on moving forward. We don't make a lot of money on the courses. And typically, if we do make money on the courses, we divide that up and send it out as bonuses to teachers. So Patreon is one of the best ways that you can help us out. And the information for that is also on our website.
Very cool. So, I mean, you keep talking about, the people you've been helping. Can you give us some of the numbers of how many people have gone through it and what kind of classes you've offered?
Yeah, absolutely. I have them here because it keeps going up and up, which is awesome. So last year we gave out over 140 free seats to our mission students. As of right now, we have given out 232 free seats to our mission students, and that's for past and future courses. Last year we hosted 30 courses. This year so far we have hosted 11, and we have a total of 20 so far for the year.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You have most every weekend, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And now we're getting to the point too where there are courses overlapping, and that's one of the other reasons that we look for moderators because I can't host both at the same time.
Cool. So what are some of the upcoming courses? What can people expect to get?
I'm sorry. So we've done a lot of different things. So we've done everything from learning how to use a plane, sharpen an iron, to dovetails. Upcoming, we have a joinery window course, session number 2 with yours truly. This one is going to be learning mortise and tenon, draw bore, and pocket hole. And then you have joinery window session 3. Remind me you remember what those joints are?
I don't off the top of my head.
I think they're miters. Is it miters, miter splines?
Yeah, miter spline and miter bridle.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah. And you don't have to take all of them. You can take individual class. They're designed to be individual if you want them to be.
Yeah, those ones are awesome. I've been getting survey feedback on that one so far, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, the first one was a lot of fun.
Yeah. We also have how to use polyurethane, how to shape table legs, which the table leg one is a really, really good one. Because if you're ever interested in adding any kind of design to the table legs, she walks you through every single step of how to think through it, how to proportion it, how to shape it, all of that kind of stuff. So really, we've had everything from entry-level classes of just how do you sharpen something to advanced. I mean, we've built stools. We've done carved boxes. We have frame saws coming up, saw sharpening coming up. Marquetry is going to be everything across the board.
Yeah, I've got a few fun ideas too. I'm looking forward to.
You come up with great ideas.
Well, yeah, I've got a router plane that I want to make here soon. I think that will get a few people.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anyone has anything they want to see in a class, throw out the ideas because we got lots of teachers, and I'm sure there's someone who would fit it well.
Yep. Yeah. So when we do get course requests, I just email all the teachers and say, "Hey, does anybody want to do this?" And usually it's a battle to see who's going to take it.
Oh, here's a question. You were talking earlier about the property and building the buildings. And do you have property in mind or a place you're looking for? What kind of space are you looking for?
So ideally, so we priced it out if we were going to take it from raw land to building everything completely from the ground up, and it would be about $2 million. And that's just not realistic unless any of your viewers are millionaires. You guys are, and you want to make it happen, call me. I'm here.
We'll put your name on the building.
There we go. I absolutely I would. We'll name the shop after you. Really, it's not realistic to expect that. So ideally, what I want to try to find is a place with at least 5 acres that has an established building on it, so we can start hosting in-person courses from there. And then after that, we would build on the cabins. And the idea for building on the cabins is to have host courses teaching timber framing or log cabin making or something like that, and have students actually build our cabins. And then from there, build on the event center, the museum. Location-wise, I don't have a specific place in mind. I am hoping for either West Virginia or Pennsylvania. West Virginia is looking better and better, just because it's cheaper and because the weather is more mild than it is here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of people that just joined. Why don't you give us a quick rundown about, we had a couple last minute questions of where our course is held and how can people help and volunteer?
Absolutely. Yeah, so most of our courses right now are virtual. I'd say about 90% of them are virtual, but we do have a few in-person locations. We have Rockford, Illinois with yours truly, James Wright. We have Timberville, Virginia with Shay Alexander. We're going to be adding Laurel, Maryland with Albert Klein. We have Nova Labs in Fairfax, Virginia. There'll be multiple teachers out of there. We have Wayne Fry out of McFall, Missouri. And then we are hopefully going to be adding Gerald Vance out of Hurricane, West Virginia.
Cool. And how can people volunteer help?
We have a few different opportunities available. So I'm looking for course moderators, people that would be willing to manage the Zoom link. They can also participate in the course at the same time. We are looking for Plain Wellness ambassadors, people who attend different woodworking shows and would be willing to put out print material for us. We are looking for a grant writer. If anybody has experience with grants, please call me. That's a big one right now. Anybody that has experience in nonprofit taxes, we would like some help with that because next year we're going to have to file a 990 EZ, and it's a little bit more in depth than the one we've been doing. And then we also have a Patreon, which is one of the best ways that you can help us, monetarily help us out, because it gives us a consistent monthly income that we can rely and depend on. And all of that is on our website. At least our contact information is on our website as well.
Cool. Well, we got another question from Alex Tappe. I guess I'm spelling that right. Do you have any teachers out of Minnesota or any plans for that?
We don't have anybody in Minnesota, but I'm absolutely open. So the idea for Plain Wellness that I'm aiming for, the dream for it is for it to be nationwide, eventually worldwide, but I want to have satellite locations everywhere. So there's somewhere for a student to go wherever they live. So if you know, whoever asked that question, if you know somebody in Missouri that would be, or what did you say, Minnesota, that would be willing to teach and have a satellite location, feel free to have them reach out to me. I'm always looking for more teachers and locations.
Cool. I should reach out to Matt Cremona and see if he'll do something.
That would be awesome. And you need to tell Rex. Rex wants to teach for us, but he said, you let me know when you have an in-person location. I'll come to you. He doesn't want to do virtual.
Yeah, he doesn't like to travel either.
Yeah. I will say that this is a question that I get a lot. So people ask how the virtual courses work and how you can learn woodworking virtually. We haven't had any issues. The only issue you're going to run into is if your internet connection's not good. So we use a multiple cameras trick. Pretty much all of our teachers have multiple cameras. They have one pointed at their face and they have one pointed at their workpiece. So they can talk, they can show you different things, they can do all this. And then once they switch to their workpiece, we change the cameras. So it's very involved. I think I've only had one or two people complain about it being virtually, but again, that's because they had a bad internet connection. They kept dropping.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind.
Now I had one class. Oh, it was the last one we had. The moderator dropped out, and all we hear is recording ended. And then a few minutes later, recording began.
It happens. It happens. But the cool thing is, every class that I've been in and that I've moderated, everybody is so chill and so understanding and so relaxed because they understand our mission. They understand the kind of students that we're helping out. So people don't get like, I don't know the word for it. They don't get all straight backed and professional and grumpy. Everybody's really chill and really understanding.
Yeah. I have really enjoyed it. I think the only thing about the lives that I don't like is that for some reason people live think that they're like, I don't know, backseat, and they get really quiet, and it's like, oh, I really want you to join in. We try and make it as if you were in the shop as possible. I actually joined the chat with 3 different camera links so that you can pick it on the other end, and I try and make it feel like you're in the shop. I mean, nothing beats actually being in the shop, but it's about as close as you can get.
Absolutely. And I'm going to be a sounding board for you too, because we do get a lot of quiet students.
Yeah.
And we're always like, come on. We do show and tell. We're like, what are you working on? Show us what you're working on.
Yeah.
We try to really get people involved because that's the other part is community. So hobbies help your mental wellness, but they're even more effective on your mental wellness when you have friends who are also interested in the craft and when you connect with other people. And that's the other thing these courses do is we understand if you can't travel to go to events, have a course and interact with people there. And I'm telling you, it helps. So talk. If you take a course with us, please talk.
Yeah. No, I love what, getting to know some of the regulars and the people you see every class that come out, and it's nice to actually get to know people and know what their styles are, what are the problems that they normally run into, and how to help them out individually. And yeah, as you said, community. It's really well set up for that.
Absolutely.
Sorry, trying to catch up on the live chat. Cool. So we talked a little bit about where you want to take this in the future with the building. Wow, I just lost my train of thought. I looked down at the chat, new thing popped up, and completely lost where I was going.
That's okay.
You talked about where you're wanting to take it in the future, but you didn't talk about what actually got you into starting this. What was the impetus for the whole beginning?
Yeah. So my background is in the mental health field. I graduated with my bachelor's in 2013. I got my master's, I think, in 2019. I started working in the field it's either 2014 or 2016. I always mess that one up. So I've always had a passion for mental health. And then when I bought my house, I needed a kitchen table, and my kitchen's really long and narrow. So I needed a specific table. And at the time, I couldn't afford one. So I said, you know what, I'm going to build one. So I got some pallet wood and I started building, and I became obsessed. My whole basement now has been taken over with woodworking stuff. But what I really realized is I'm diagnosed with ADHD, and working in the shop really helped me slow down and helped me calm down. So anyone with ADHD, your brain moves a million miles a minute. When I'm in the shop planing a board or chopping out a mortise, all of that quiets down. And I noticed that helping me in working in the mental health field as well, because that's not an easy field to work in. So woodworking became my break. I then started a YouTube channel where I got to interact more and more with the woodworking community. And I learned a lot of people did have diagnoses, and we were talking about how woodworking has helped them. And I said, there's got to be a way to combine my two passions, which was woodworking and mental health. And one day it literally just went bing, free woodworking courses, and I went for it and I launched, and I'm very happy that I did, because it's been doing really well and we're helping a lot of people.
Cool. Well, we're running out of questions, so I think we're going to be wrapping this up in a few minutes here. But before we go, and we give everyone a chance to ask another question if you got anything for the last minute. Otherwise, I want you to tell us a little bit about Hand Tool Haven and what's coming up, and what people can get into if they want to come out for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Hand Tool Haven is going to be a huge woodworking event. We are going to have vendors, silent auctions, presentations, demonstrations. There's going to be raffles. There's going to be a 50-50, a door prize. We're going to have everything from custom makers like Honeybrook Tools, Eric Mayer Makers going to be there, Hamilton Tools, Leather by Dragonfly, a whole bunch of different people, makers, you know what I mean. We're also going to have big name companies like Zenwu, Honeybrook Tools, Heartwood Tools, Blue Spruce is going to be there. The demonstrations and presentations are going to be Popular Woodworking, Fine Woodworking, Woodsmith. We're also going to have vintage tool dealers there. There's going to be Buckeye Tools. I'm trying to remember who else is going to be there. I tried to shout out as many names as I can, but it's just going to be awesome. We're going to have a whole bunch of different vendors. There's going to be a bunch of stuff to do. We're going to have a bunch of food trucks as well, so you can eat, hang out, and just have a good time. It is going to be in Freeport, Pennsylvania, 30 minutes north of Pittsburgh on July 19th this year.
Cool. We had another question come in from Aryan. I don't know how to pronounce that one. Sorry, man. How do mission students find you, and how do you find them?
So a lot of our outreach right now for us finding mission students, most of our outreach has been Facebook and Instagram. We've also had a lot of different shout outs on different YouTube channels, James Wright being one of them. We've also had shout outs from Rex Kruger, Eric Mayer. We've been in a couple different magazine articles. So we've been trying to get the word out that we exist. That's one of the toughest things when you're a company. Mission students, for them to sign up, I try to keep it as simple as possible, because I work in the mental health field with a lot of barriers. I don't want any barriers. All you do, you go to www.plainwellness.org, you click on courses, find the course you want, At the bottom of the page, you'll see mission student. You click on that, fill out some info, upload proof of your diagnosis, and there you go. Once you submit the application, I get it. Basically, just make sure that your document is from you, has your diagnosis. I say you're approved and you're signed up.
One of the things I love about the class is I don't know, when people come to the class, I don't know who's a mission student and who's a paid student. And there is no thought about, oh yeah, they're a mission student or they're a paid student. Or no, it's a bunch of people getting together and having a good time. And I absolutely love that because you can't tell. And it reminds me that, when you're walking out on the road, you don't know who's around you and what problems people are running into. Because there are a lot of internal things that you don't see, and it's kind of cool to be able to help people with that. So yeah,
I'm glad you recognize that because every single department that I've been in the mental health field, you know who your client is. Anybody that walks into the building, you know they're a client. So automatically, to me, that feels like a barrier for somebody. That if you're going to walk into a treatment facility, everybody knows that you've got a diagnosis. So I really wanted to make sure that we made that as anonymous as possible. So I'm glad that you recognize that.
Another question here from a ChrisDuCasse. What percentage of students are repeats?
Ooh, I don't have a percentage. I don't even know how I could calculate that, but I don't have that right now. What I will say is we do have a limit on repeats. So mission students and paid students are allowed to sign up for 3 courses within 6 months. If they go over that number, they go on a wait list, so other people get a chance. If the class still has openings about 2 weeks prior to the class, then I pull people off the wait list and let them take it.
I would say of the people I see, about half of them have never been to my shop before. So yeah, it's pretty well spread out. Let's see. ChrisDuCasse also has another one. How long ahead of a class do you have to commit to being a moderator? I'm interested and have received the initial packet.
I'm trying to think if I don't know that there's really a timeline. Whenever I for sure need a moderator, I send an email out to the moderators group, and the first one that gets back to me that says they can do it, they go ahead and take it. But moderators have the opportunity to always look at the course list and say, hey, I'm interested in this one. They can just email me and I can say, cool, I'm moderating that. You can have it.
Cool. Yeah, I always like, as I've had, 4 different moderators so far, and every one of them's been great. And it's always kind of interesting meeting new people and seeing their take on it. So, let's see. Pete Lewis Woodwork asks, what can you do for autistic people at next year's event?
At this year's event?
He said next year's event, so I'm not sure what he's saying.
I'll answer for both. Yeah, I'll answer for both. So we will have dedicated hangout spaces. So the venue that we've chosen specifically for this year, and I'll talk about next year's as well as a little seed on what we're working on. So for this year, we have an entire balcony space, and then you can go, trying to figure out how to explain it. The whole balcony is going to be a hangout area. We'll have one vendor out there. And then there's a set of steps where you can go down, and then underneath, there's completely nothing underneath. So if you need a sensory break, you can absolutely go down underneath there and hang out for a little bit and just take a breather.
Cool.
For next year's venue, the goal is to rent an entire fairgrounds, which I think this is the first time that I'm saying it publicly. It's still in the works. It's not guaranteed yet, but we want to rent an entire fairgrounds. And for that, we'll absolutely have dedicated spaces for people to take sensory breaks.
Cool. Yeah, Pete Lewis, who just said that, he says, I can't make it this year, so I'm asking about next year because I'm going to be coming from the UK.
Okay. So, yep, we will absolutely have dedicated spaces for people to be able to decompress.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think that about does it, unless you have anything anything you want to say last.
I don't think so.
Anything you want people to go and...
here, so I'm going to ask him. Did I cover everything? All good. Okay. I think sometimes I need that little bit of reassurance. So Eric is here he's my best friend, so he's helping me out.
Yeah. Why don't you, what links or where can people find out more?
Oh yeah, sorry. www.plainwellness.org. A lot of people do .com. I don't know what website that takes you to, but go to .org. Um, you can also always reach out to us. If you go to the bottom of the website there, you're going to see info@plainwellness.org. Feel free to reach out to that email anytime. We also do have a phone number, but I am going to caution you. I'm the one that holds the phone, and I still have a day job. So I might not always be able to answer the phone during the day, but if you call me and leave a message, I promise I'll give you a call back as soon as I can.
Sweet. Well, I think that'll about do it. So until next time, have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you.
And now we play the game of find the turn off button. There it is. Bye. Cool. That was a lot of fun.